Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather round for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the Great Salt Lake, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt and Katie will be your compass, your confidants, your companions of that, as we explore the wonders of travel. So kick back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust wash over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt and Katie by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt and Katie on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shout for your guides through the highways and byways of travel, the planning partners, the travel tandem, Matt and Katie.
Hi, Yinz doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me again today is my co-host Katie, along with Annell and Carlos. So welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, how's it going?
So it's a wonderful day. All right, so whenever we have guests, we start this way. So Annell and Carlos, what is your favorite place that you've ever been, or is there a place you'd like to visit the most?
Well, the place I like to visit most is going to be Disney or anything related to Disney. Disney World, Disneyland. And where I would love to go to Bora Bora. I'm a beach girl, so anything tropical along those lines, I'm all for it.
There's no right answer for this, but I think you gave the right answer. Carlos, what about you?
Of course, I'll have to say Disney, and then favorite place I want to visit the most.
Don't worry, you just have the entire world to choose from. So
I
couple
I
of
know
options.
I know this entire world. No, maybe Tokyo, Japan.
Very nice. Coincidentally, happens to be a Disney park there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do know Disney Springs. They recently got some Disney Tokyo merchandise exclusive over there.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Annell and Carlos are here that we are going to talk about the Disney College Program. The Carlos just finished up a stint as one of the cast members through the college program. So we're going to get into that. So a little bit of change from what we normally do, but it's fun. So we're going to do it anyway. So a little bit of background on that is that the Disney College Program started in 1981. So that's before any of us were born, right?
For sure.
Yep.
We're going to claim that.
Right.
So it was called the Magic Kingdom College Program back then, mainly because that's the only park that existed back in 1981. So the cast members who came down, there were 248 students from 43 schools, and they lived in what was called Snow White Village campground in Kissimmee. And they had 11 non-credit classroom sessions called Leisure Time Business Management Series. 1982, for some weird reason, they started the international program. Oh wait, that coincided with the opening of Epcot. How convenient.
Right.
And it was called the World Showcase Fellowship Program. Again, nice naming. They had 90 students from 8 different countries, so around the World Showcase. And so it was, there's 11 countries now. Morocco was added in 1984 and Norway in 1988. And so that leaves 9. And of course, there were already people from the United States, so the remaining 8 countries. 1999, the Disney College Program website launched. And that was right around the time that I was in college and considered joining the program. But we'll deal with that later on. In 2002, the Disney Culinary Program began. 2013, the Disney On-Site Resident Management System, so DORMS, DORMS is what they call it, that began. And basically that's the portal for the Disney College Program, and it's how the uh, people who join the program can register for events and sign up for things and get emails. And it's basically their big information area that's online. 2014, the Disney Alumni Association began, and they now have over 40,000 members. So these are people who went through the Disney College program. And in 2021, was that Flamingo Crossings Village opened, and that's the main residential area for the college students who join the program. So in order to join, you have to be at least 18, which I think most college kids are. You have to be enrolled in college for, you have to be either in college or less than 2 years since your graduation, and you have to have completed at least one semester. Some schools have minimum GPA requirements. You have to be authorized to work in the US. And anyone who is a former Disney College program participant has to wait at least 4 months since their last departure to sign up again. So you can do this multiple times. And it's open to people who are going to college in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and all US territories. Usually they're in it for about 5 to 7 months, but they can extend it for up to 1 year. So, Carlos, how long were you in the program?
Originally, it was just for 5 months, but I chose to extend it for a full year. So I was with the college program for a full year.
That's awesome. Whenever I was in college, I think it was the right before, so it was my fall of my senior year that we had some Disney College program representatives come to our school, and I went and listened to the talk, and they're okay, so you take off. It was a full year then, or at least the way they built it. You would take off the spring, work the summer, work the fall, and I was, it would have been my last semester of college that I was just pushing back a year, and it's just I was just so ready to get out of college. I didn't do it, but I don't know if we could have done it with the up to 2 years after graduation, but that would have been awesome. That's one thing that I sort of regret in my college career is not doing this.
All right. No,
Yeah,
it is
they
definitely it's a fun experience. It's definitely is what you make it how you want it to be. Sorry, it is a fun thing, but like depending on how you look at things and how you perceive things, you basically determine like the outcome of your program. So it's also is important like to make that connection with like your coordinators or leaders. Like if you're planning to stay, like get names, get in contact with some people. Say, okay, you know this. They can reference you. Okay, yeah, I worked with so and so. He used to go with this, and that can like help you like climb up in the company.
So when you decided to do this, Carlos, did you sit down with your mom and try to decide like what like your ideal position and role would be, or did you kind of leave it up to fate? What was your
I just left it up to fate. I am normally a fate person. As my mom knows, I really do things typically without like a plan. Like I just go and say, hey, this is Disney college thing. I'm going to sign up. And fun fact, I originally signed up in 2023, but when I went back to edit my application, I accidentally changed my age to not 18, so I wasn't accepted. So I had to wait for the next time. So in 20, so around close to, we were on a cruise ship around like towards like the end of the year in 2023. That's when I got accepted when the applications reopened.
Yes, we found out while we were in, where were we? We were in Honduras
Yep,
on an
I found
excursion
out
when
with
we
a
found
drink
out.
of amaretto sour.
That's a good way to celebrate.
Oh, it was a good way to celebrate.
Just when your cruise can't get any better. Oh yeah, by the way, I get to go to work at Disney now.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
And so, Carlos, do you want to share your major and which school you went to or go to still?
I am still attending Kennesaw State University. Right now, my major is media entertainment. So I most definitely feel that is like one of the best majors to be in while within company.
And you want to stick around with Disney eventually? Is that true?
Yes. So right now, I got accepted for part-time. So right now, I'm doing my training for my part-time position, which is food and beverage at one of the resorts. So I'm still doing that. And with part-time, Like you will have to like pick up hours. That's like when if someone doesn't want to work a shift, say, hey, I can work this shift and they'll like give it to me. So I'm like looking around after people saying, hey, you're giving any shifts for me since I'm a part-timer, full-timers, you're guaranteed no work schedules. Part-timers, it's more like grabbing what you can.
And does the being a part timer give you more flexibility with where you're going to work? Do you like jump around to different jobs, or is it going to be?
Oh
Uh,
yes, absolutely. So with my new location, I'm at Wilderness Lodge at Roaring Fork specifically. And then I think not just it, but the day before yesterday, I had a shift at Epcot. And then like the day before that, I had a shift at Animal Kingdom, so on and so forth. So being part-timer is like really flexible, not only to build my schedule, but like to choose where I want to work at. And it also helped with me finishing my college program with merchandise. So with merchandise, I can really practically go anywhere on property.
So no 2 days look alike then.
Yes, no two days look alike unless like I pick the same location to work the next day back to back.
I think Carlos really lucked out when it came to that. Like he said, he did merchandise when he was in the college program. So that helped when they transitioned him and offered him a part-time, and it was in a totally different field, the food and beverage. Since he still had that training for retail with Disney, he can still pick up hours to make up and make it seem like he works a full-time job, but he doesn't because, he's on his own now. So we have to pay bills.
I mean the bills aren't bad. One thing with Flamingo, for part-timers and full-timers, you can decide if you want to stay at Flamingo. So there's gonna be a whole separate building for just part-timers and full-timers, while the rest is for the college programmers. So the way with rent works with Flamingo is that you're charged weekly. So as a college program, you're guaranteed at least a bare minimum of 30 hours every week. That's what Disney is required to give you by the contract when you join the Disney College program. And every week when you get your pay, it automatically deducts your rent. But when you go part-time, full-time, it goes back to like your regular rent, like you pay rent once a month. I would say it is more beneficial from the utility usage. You're not going to be paying a lot for utilities while staying at Flamingo, which is really is beneficial and it does help you save money.
Yes, he just sent a message on our family group chat saying, "You won't believe how much my utility bill was." And I thought this is going to be something high. $7.
my goodness, I wish I had
Seven
that.
Right.
$7.
So,
Right.
speaking of Flamingo Crossings Village, let's talk about that a little bit. That is the residential area. It's upscale living spaces. They look really nice. It's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
they have resort style pools. There's a fitness center, a community building that has common areas to get together. There's educational facilities, and the rooms you get in, they're typically going to be 4 people per room, and there's either 2 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. Most of them have 2 bathrooms. There's a kitchen area, and then there's the Flamingo Crossings Town Center that has a bunch of restaurants that's nearby.
And a
So,
Target.
Yes, that place. Yeah, so that place it does have a mini Target there. It has a Five Below, I believe also like a Dollar Tree, couple of stores. There's a Ben and Jerry's. You got an all you can eat Japanese buffet. You got Five Guys. You got a bunch of stores there. Recently, a 7-Eleven gas station was just built there like a couple of months ago.
gotcha. And how far is that from the residential area? Is it walking distance or a
Oh,
short
it
bus?
is walking distance. So
Okay.
typically, I'll walk there. I'll get from Flamingo to the Crossing Town Center in about like 7 minutes. Then again, I am typically a fast walker, but that's like you also have to like you got to stop at the crosswalks and wait where you can cross. So it will like take some time, but it really isn't not that far. But it's also like a good like leg workout for just keep walking, keep your body moving.
So Carlos's pace is like me at Disney. It's like speed
Yep.
walking, right? Okay.
I'm a natural speed walker.
So, and it is broke. The residential area is broken into both West Village and East Village. There's two different areas for it, and they have a
Yes.
convenient bus system to help you get around. And there's 10 buses. They're labeled A through K, but there's no F bus, which I think that calls for an investigation. So I think we have to go on site to investigate that to see what happened to the F bus.
College kids, I can probably guess why there's no F bus.
One thing I did get to mention with the town center, it is closest to west. If you're at east, you're much better. You're better just waiting for the next bus to take you to west and then get off at west and walk to the town center. Because there's only one bus that will stop at the town center, and that is the A bus. It will stop at the mini Target, and that will be the last stop before it goes to west and east.
Yeah, and then the B through K buses, those all go to different areas around Walt Disney World.
Yes, I'm
And
trying to fully remember where they go. I never really took those two buses. Main buses I took was just the I and the A bus.
yeah, there was a whole list that I was able to find online. Some went to like the Magic Kingdom area, and then other ones went to different parks, and it was divided up, you know, in different groups of areas. So it made sense. And as Carlos mentioned, you can work 30 to 50 hours a week. So you might have a busy week sometimes, especially during the peak seasons, especially during summer and the holidays. Imagine that gets crazy. Did you work on Christmas, Carlos, or on the 4th of July or
Um,
any of those really big holidays?
oh no, yes. Tip, so with the college program, typically you will be working on like holidays and stuff like that. So that's what I would say, like be prepared. Like you can still try and give away, and I can guarantee you people will snatch those up for part-timers and full-timers wanting to get the holiday pay. But typically, it's most likely gonna be like college programs that will be scheduled on holidays. So that's something to will like keep in mind or to like, have a backup plan. Like if you know someone who's part-time, saying, hey, I need these days off. And if you're available, can you, like take these so I can have these days off to do stuff for the holidays.
So it's good to, as you mentioned before, having connections, not just in the company with higher up so you can uh, get promoted and extend your career, but also having connections with people who work there currently.
Yes, that is correct.
And that's a big thing that we'll get to a little bit later on, that the college program is really, really nice, that it's an opportunity to get your foot in the door with Disney, but then they also teach you how to do this, make these connections, give you the opportunities for it all. And having uh, the rent deducted from your paycheck, it's a really it's a nice step up, transitioning step from most students who might not have had to pay all their bills. That now it's
Correct.
a way to help manage your money and keep track of things
Absolutely.
without having to remember those due dates. Because I remember back when I was renting, and I was always, wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Did I remember to pay the rent this month? Like, what day is today? Give them the check.
Right, right.
Still is
Yeah.
that way sometimes with the mortgage too. So we kind of touched on this before, but the different jobs you can have, they divide it up into different segments and different areas. There's food and beverage, which you can either be a seater at one of the full service restaurants, or you can work at the counter for a quick service, or be the person who's cleaning tables and rearranging things and putting things back together after people come in and put two tables together or three tables or completely move things around. So making things look nice, making sure all the condiments and the napkins are stocked and things along those lines. There's retail sales, which can either be the front of the house where you're working the register or helping people out, or you can be in the back doing stock work. And it wasn't at Disney, but that was part of my high school college job, was being a stock boy at a department store. And that was one of my best jobs ever. That we started like at 5 in the morning, but we were done by noon, and we pretty much never had to deal with customers. So it was kind of nice.
Still have the whole day to yourself.
Yeah, well, of course, I was going to bed at 8 o'clock because I had to be up at 5 to work again. But we went through most of the workday. Just we had our job to do, we did it, and didn't have to worry about anyone else bugging us. It was night. It was relaxing.
Nice.
I got a workout in, so I didn't have to go to the gym. Unloading trucks all day. So there's also operations, which are the attractions, custodial, working at the monorail, photopass photographers, working on the Skyliner or the watercraft, getting people in and out, making sure uh, safe transitions with transportation. There's recreation, which is the lifeguard area and kids' activities at the different resorts. There's entertainment, where you can be a friend of one of the characters. You can be one of the people that accompany the character around the park, different performers from different shows, and costume operations where you actually give the different cast members their costumes for the day and you help them get all set up with that. I think that's pretty neat, the behind the scenes stuff that you could do.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is really awesome.
And then there's lodging, which is bell services, working in the club level lounges, being a resort concierge, which is either down at the front desk of checking people in or actually helping people make plans and reservations, or housekeeping, which is, making sure that your rooms look awesome.
So I can't help but think that, like, when you look at this list, how many people it takes to make magic, right?
Right.
Oh,
How
it
many,
is a lot.
yeah, and how many college kids are going out and giving a part of, because I know that it's an experience that is like beneficial to you guys, Carlos, and like
Hmm.
beneficial to your parents and Annell. I know that like you like I know that it's exciting and wonderful to like have him have these experiences, but you're giving like it, there's you have so much magic in every little thing, and all of these like positions that Matt just listed, they're all things that make a Disney trip memorable and important, and the reason why people keep coming back time and time again.
Right, and we have to really give it to the cast members because, like you said, we see the list of everything that they do and the amount of traffic that Disney gives, and these cast members try to make it like, your best vacation ever, and have the enthusiasm, like, yay, for everybody that comes through. Me person, that has to be exhausting. So these cast members to always, welcome you and have a smile, and everything they do is really, amazing.
But I also know too that the same can be said of like you and Elle and you, Matt, when you guys book a trip for your clients, like the enthusiasm you have for the fact that they get to go and experience all of these wonderful things with the people that they love and care for, and the enthusiasm that you have when they contact you and you get to plan out a little part of things that are going to be a part of their memories forever.
Very much so. That's my favorite part about being a travel agent. I love that part, but my favorite is actually talking to my clients when they come back and them sharing their experience and telling, small little things, that, made their day, or what was fun for them, or how their kids' eyes lighted up, or, how they got to do something they never experienced before. To me, that's the best part because I really feel like I experience it with my clients, and just to know you're giving somebody some kind of happiness is just, it's the reason why I do what I do. I just absolutely love it.
And that's been something that's been echoed by both Katie and I and other guests that have been on this podcast, is that whenever we work with clients, it's our job is to help people make memories. And we
Correct.
want them to have the time of their life. And we've all had these amazing experiences traveling, particularly with Walt Disney World or Disneyland or a Disney cruise or anything with Disney. And we want to share that. We want to have other people have those same experiences. And it's spreading love and joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Walt Disney World has 77,000 employees. I'll say
Wow.
that again, 77,000. So that is more than twice the size of any city in the state of West Virginia. So
Wow.
yeah, I live in Morgantown, which is the biggest city, and without college students, we have 34,000 people. With college students, it almost doubles. But yeah, that you have a city of employees.
It's a win-win situation because you're giving these college students almost, I hate to say, but like, once in a lifetime experience. And, for me personally, watching Carlos was already, he went to Kennesaw State physically, was staying away and staying at the dorms up there. But the growth that I've seen him while he's been through this program has been phenomenal. One of the times that I went to go down and visit him, it's just I asked him to call front desk about something. It's just his customer service, the way he talks, the way he engages, his responsibility of, paying his bills, managing school and work and everything. It honestly has been a stepping stone for him to adulthood that I truly appreciate, and I'm in awe that I didn't know that he would be getting more than just educational stuff at Disney. It's really more built up social skills and other parts in his being that I didn't even think he would get out of this program.
Do you feel that way, Carlos?
Oh no, absolutely. Like my mom is right. Like you will learn a lot. It's not more just like wake up, go to work, go to sleep, wake up. It is so much more like budgeting. Like knowing, okay, I got this. I have worked this many hours. This much is going to come out of my paycheck. Set aside like for savings. I want to do this with friends. Do that. I got to do schoolwork. This like it's like oh so much more than just I'm just working for Disney, staying at like dorms. It's much more than what some people would think. Like exactly how what my mom said, you will learn and experience so many things. You'll learn new skills and stuff. Like it is really an amazing opportunity. It's such a great stepping stone for people to who are transitioning from being fresh in college and trying to transition to that adulthood. So I feel like being in this college program will not only like help you with experience and your being social and many other things, but it most definitely help you stepping into adulthood.
And you mentioned before about the free time. So what did you do in your free time whenever you weren't working?
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, to my free time, if I wasn't working, I'll either just do my work or like clean or like go out like grab buy groceries and then I just like probably sit home, play games or go out with friends.
So basically living their normal college life.
Yeah, it's pretty much living your basic normal college life. You have an off day, like, But for me personally, I really don't like having off days because to me that's too much time on my hands. I'm like, there's nothing for me to do and I want to do something. So I'm just like really anxious on my off days, me personally, because I like to work. Because I can just work in there and I just like money. I just like earning money. So I'm just more of a worker's person. But every now and then I will want like time to just sit down, like relax, sleep in. That is like really the best part that I've learned like after like working like for long weeks, long hours, and you have a day off, you can just sleep in and I don't have to worry about no one waking me up saying, hey, it's two in the afternoon, you need to get up. I'm like, no, I'll just sleep in for how long as I want.
You might be able to take the college student out of the college, but you can't take the college student out of their life, correct?
Yeah. There are some days where I just stay in my bed and I don't fully wake up until like it's like 5. I'm like, oh, it's 5.
So, Carlos, did you get to make friends from all over the place?
Oh, oh, absolutely. One thing I can say from my personal experience, the most people I've interacted with and made friends with is people from Utah.
Oh,
That's like the one place that I keep hearing, oh, where are you from? I hear Utah, Utah, Utah. That's the number one place I hear because I do know there's two people. One person when I joined my college program who's coming in with me, they were from Utah. They are a dancer, and then there's another one who is from Utah. Her program ended before mine's, and she already finished school. I believe she was doing like something in the business field,
so
and then
my niece from Utah, she was in the college program and she worked at Animal Kingdom. So, and yeah, yeah.
yeah, like out of all the places I hear the most, I hear Utah the most. For Kennesaw State, I only came across I think a total of 3 or 4 people from Kennesaw State.
How about internationally?
Internationally, oh, yeah. So there's like so many people that I met internationally, which I do miss. I like really enjoyed them. It's like sad seeing them gone. Um, so there's one from, if I'm correctly, I think they were from Japan. Their name was Kate. So they were first in Disney Springs with me for like half of their program. And then for the other half, they were transferred into tour attractions. That's typically what they'll do for the internationals. Like if you're not like in Epcot, you're gonna be like somewhere else for like half a year. And then for the other half, you'd be moved to a different location. But yeah, like one thing I can say, you meet so many people internationally, like, and then you get close and attached to them, and then when it's time to leave, it's just sad.
Oh,
And that's a lot. So too, what we also do typically when our end dates are getting closer, we'll typically buy like a journal or notebook from Disney, and we just write so and so's goodbye book, and then people will just sign it and saying, "Hey," we'll just write a long, nice message. It was great working with you. I enjoyed the memories. So and so, so and so. Make sure to visit us. You were a great person, and so on and so forth.
That's a great thing. It's kind of like your yearbook whenever you graduate high school or, something
Yes.
along those lines.
Yeah, I still have mines for when my Disney college program ends. It's sitting in my car right now.
That's really nice. And the other neat thing is that now you have these contacts all over the world. So, you mentioned about going to Tokyo. Now you have friends in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a little side tip that you now have a place that whenever you are on vacation, you don't have to pay for a hotel. It's like, hey, do you mind if I crash on your couch for a little bit? Which you can do when you're still college and young, but it doesn't work too well whenever you're like, hey, can I crush in your couch with my wife and 2 kids? And, we brought
And
the dog
dog.
too. And no, I joined a fraternity in college and we had, members from all over the US. And so whenever someone was traveling down to wherever, it's like, oh yeah, so and so lives there. Let's just crash on their couch. So it was nice back then. You could do it.
Mm.
So, and for other people though, with the free time, you can of course go to the parks, and then they also had some planned trips in and around Orlando, and there were some cultural opportunities like going to a theater, see a play, and some other things along those lines. So they really made it nice that you had options that if you didn't want to just sleep or work all the time, if you wanted to actually get out and explore, you have those opportunities. And of course, you took some classes through. Did you take you took classes through Kennesaw State while you were down there and in the program? Is that correct, Carlos?
Yes, I took online classes.
And then there are also classes that the Disney College program offers.
Yes,
And
there is.
just to show how much of a nerd I am, and so I am eventually going to work at Disney. That's my retirement plan to be a cast member. Specifically, I think on the Jungle Cruise with one of the skippers, just because I have that personality. But this was, 15 years ago or so. So shortly after I graduated college, I still looked into the Disney College program just to see what it was all about, and I found some of the actual textbooks they use in their classes, and I got some of them and read through them, and they're interesting books. Just for reading them, it's educational books, but still, I got something out of it. There were ones on hospitality, hotel management, just communication, leadership, that they're worthwhile just reading.
Oh, that's neat. I would like to take a look at those books. That's
Yeah, I'll
awesome.
see. I don't know if they're still used, but I'll see if I can find the textbook list and I'll send it to you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I don't think because like say we can still take classes on the classes with yeah, the Disney College program. You sign up through the dorms portal, which is like typically where you go like if you have anything to do with your housing in Flamingo. But like you just sign up for a bunch of classes. Like I do know the one class I did sign up and took it's like an information class, so we learned more about the parks around that Disney has. So we learned a bit about Tokyo, Japan. So that was what was covered in that class I took. But there's like many more classes I can take, and then after taking a certain amount, you can get certificates. So I think you got the Goofies, Mickey's, Donald, and Daisy certificate that shows how many classes you took. That's it, like if you do want to do, I didn't take that many classes because I was also taking like college courses online, and then like days I did had off, I just wanted to like relax because I was working so much at the point where I typically had like 1 day off out of the week because I kept like picking up shifts here and so forth. But yeah, like the classes is a great learning opportunity. Like there's so many things you can do, and not only that, on the dorms portal, that's also where you sign up for like events that might be held in Flamingo Village, or you can sign up for to like a trip, and then one of the buses will take you to like a beach or something else which you have to sign up for.
And the other thing that I was reading about that they have a pretty strict no-show policy too, that if you sign up for something and don't show up, so this is really teaching responsibility, which I wish, I also teach in college. I wish some of my students had this too. That teaching, having that personal responsibility to show up and follow through with your obligations and have that time management and keeping track of things and being punctual
Right.
is really,
Right.
really important. And they're helping to instill these qualities and these traits into the students who are joining the Disney College program, which is fantastic life lessons to learn, especially if you can get it when you're in college and not wait till you're out of college, like I've also experienced with some other people I work with.
Yeah, I'm glad you did say that because that's something that did slip my mind. So I think if you do sign up for a class and don't show up, I think you get like a strike or something like that. I think once you get to three, you can just the only thing that'll happen is that you won't be able to sign up or take no more classes. But typically, like for the like, let's say like for like the first time, if you sign up for a class and you forget, you just have to typically like send them email saying, "Hey, I apologize. This slipped my mind," or like this came up, and they'll be understanding. They'll remove that penalty from your account. But I think like once you hit a certain amount, you just won't be able to take the classes anymore. Like you still do the program knowledge, just that you won't be able to sign up for any of the classes.
And that's because some of these classes are very popular. And if you sign up and don't show up, there's limited space. And so you're taking an opportunity from somebody else. So there's reasons for it just to be, not just being punitive. It's, hey, we're trying to get as many people to learn stuff as possible.
Yeah,
Right.
and if there is a course that you see that you really want to take, and if it says like it's full, you can still like show up to courses and say, hey, um, is there, can I still like walk in? Has anyone like that signed up for the course not hasn't came in today? And they'll check if they haven't, they'll go on and let you write in.
And that's also really great. And some of these courses, the one is Disney Traditions. So you're learning what it's like to be a Disney cast member and what you should be doing and how they expect the cast members to act and how they want them to interact with the guests who are coming. And it's just it may giving you here. This is what our company is about. This is what we expect. This is how we uphold our standard. This is how Disney stays Disney. There's also operations where you have to see how you do things and a little more specific. There's a Discover Disney class, which gives you kind of behind the scenes, but you can only do this once. It's not for credit, but you kind of get to see how the magic is made and going into different backstage areas. Which did you
Carlos,
get to do that
didn't
one,
you do
Carl?
one of
Oh, go
those?
ahead.
I'm sorry. Carlos, didn't you do one of the behind the scenes?
Oh yes, that's another thing. So like once in a while you can there's something you can sign up for called behind the scenes. That's typically where you can go behind the scenes of some of the attractions and the rides. So two of the rides that I got to do behind the scenes for was the Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railroad, and then Pandora Flight of Passage.
That's awesome. I've done a couple of the behind the scenes tours through Disney, and I've gotten to go into a couple of the different attractions and see how they do things. Specifically, the Haunted Mansion was one. Um, I got to go to, well, back when it was called Splash Mountain, so Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We got to see the reservoir where they keep all the water and how they drain it at night, and this reservoir fills up, and then during the day it's really low because all the water's on the attraction.
Oh
You
wow.
made me feel so old when you said when it used to be called Splash Mountain. You made me feel
Yeah,
so old when you said that.
as in a year ago, back when it was Splash Mountain.
The good old days, right?
The good old days.
Which was
And
your favorite?
for me,
Yes.
um, let's see, did I get to go on any others too? Well, the Haunted Mansion was just really neat of how they. And, oh, we also got to see some of the Tower of Terror
Oh, that's
and how
interesting.
that works.
Oh yeah,
And
I wanted to do that, but it got filled up. Same thing with Haunted Mansion.
yeah, the Haunted Mansion of how they make the ghosts appear and disappear. It's really old. It's an old trick that magicians used, 150 years ago that it's still used today and it's still very effective. And I'm sure that this is all out there, and I think we talked about it on this podcast, but it's called
Mhm.
Pepper's Ghost. That there's the underneath. So whenever you're in the dining room scene in the Haunted Mansion,
Hmm.
there and you're looking out and the ghosts are appearing and disappearing and they're dancing and there's the birthday cake at the table and there's the duelist on the portraits and things like that. That underneath where the doom buggy's going is they actually have audio animatronics who are doing everything that the ghosts are doing. And then there's a big, very big pane of glass. Of course, it's, they make sure it's perfectly clear. So, Katie, they must use the same technique that they use on the Rocky Mountaineer to keep the windows so clean.
I'm telling you, if you could bottle that stuff up to keep, you could make a fortune.
And then they'll turn lights onto the audio animatronic characters, and you see their reflection on the glass. And whenever you turn the lights off, it's like they disappear. And so they use the same thing in on the Tower of Terror. Whenever you go up to the first level and you see the ghost waving you along, if you look along the ground, you can see sort of a diagonal line, and that's where the pane of glass is that you're seeing the reflection. So sorry to spoiler alert. Although I think this is also on the behind the attraction stuff that's on Disney Plus too. So I'm not really breaking too much ground here.
I
I mean,
see.
I'm sure you can find out by also looking it up, like how they do it online.
Yeah, the information's out there. But the other neat thing is that, and this is true throughout Walt Disney World, is that in the Haunted Mansion on the ground, whenever you're underneath the thing by the audio animatronics, there's a yellow line painted on the ground. And if you across that line, you would be visible from the doom buggies. So you have to stay behind that. And the same thing is whenever you would go behind the scenes off stage, that the edges of the park, if you go through one of the little, if you ever see a character who goes back through a gate and goes to the backstage area, that there is a yellow line on the ground. And once you're past that, they can't see you in the park. And if you're actually on the railroad going around, whenever you are going around near Adventureland, and there's like a little road that comes by, you can actually see one of those yellow lines on the ground. And also, whenever you're about to come out from the backstage areas, there's always a mirror there, so you can check your appearance to make sure your costume is where it should be and everything's in the right place and your name tag's not crooked or anything else like that, and you're tucked in, all that, that you're ready to go on stage.
I think the only mirror that I've seen, but of course is where it's placed, is the Guardian of the Galaxy ride at Epcot. When you're coming down the steps off that ride, they have a mirror right there. And I saw a special Disney did on the ride, and I can't remember, but the mirror's there for cast members to check themselves too. But it's listed there, and then it has the whatever language Guardians of the Galaxy is. And it says basically what Disney tells you when you're going out into the public to check your look to make sure you're presentable before going forward.
Was it Xandarian?
Yes, there you
Is it?
go.
So that's really neat. And they do some similar stuff like that in Galaxy's Edge too, that everything's in Airbush, the Star Wars language,
Yep.
which I know a lot of really big Star Wars nerds who actually know the different characters and can read it to you. So
You
it's
know some, Matt?
well, I don't know the language. I don't know the characters of the letters, but yes, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. But having the behind the scenes stuff. And for anyone, Carlos, did you actually get to go into the utilidors under Magic Kingdom?
No, I have not worked at Magic Kingdom yet. I was going to, but that's when I happened to pick up I think a 10-hour shift for the Emporium. But that was the same day when that hurricane came to Florida. That's one thing I do want to mention. Typically like with the weather stuff, if this weather's gonna be really bad, like a hurricane and something like that, what cast members have is like a number that they'll call or they'll keep double checking with the leaders, and that number will tell them if the park is operating, and the park is not operating, then you don't come into work. And typically when that does happen on rare occasions, you will still be paid for that day. So like I've been to every park but Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios.
That's a great policy. That's really good. I don't want to say customer service, but employee service. Employee relations.
Right.
Yeah, so typically like make sure and like they'll wait until it gets a bit closer to make a final decision because they don't want to make a decision too abruptly, like saying, oh, we shouldn't have said don't come to work when everything is fine. We could have operated. They make sure to like at least wait, and when it gets much closer, then we'll have more of a definitive answer when it comes to hurricanes and weathers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's common sense. So go with Disney. Some of the other courses you can take is the story unfolds, which you can also do once. I couldn't find too many details on that though, of what it all entails. Um, there's Disney Heritage, which tells you basically the history of the Disney company. And I think I just realized what I need to do. I need to now apply to be one of the instructors for the Disney College program because I've read enough and watched enough DVDs and movies and everything on the history of the Disney company. I think I could teach that course.
Me and Katie will sign up.
That's right. Sign up. We might heckle you in the background, but we'll sign up.
I'll join too.
So, and now again, going back to what we mentioned before with the Disney College program of trying to teach the college students who are in the program about, life lessons and how to manage finances and all that, that they actually have courses that are financial fitness of how to manage your money. There's emotional fitness. There's also a class which I'd love to take this one too. It's sign language.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So learning how to sign, that's something I really want to do just because, being a Star Wars nerd, that yes, I'm in, and we talked about this on the different episodes of the podcast, that I'm in both the 501st and the Rebel Legion, which are worldwide Star Wars costuming groups that do charity work. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
and we do things with different organizations. We'll be asked to make an appearance at a walk to raise money for to fight different cancer or raise money to help people with Down syndrome or whatever the case is. So we encounter a lot of people with special needs. And so being able to do some sign language for especially people who are nonverbal, I picked up
Yeah, that would
a
be
few little things
beneficial.
like thank you and whatever else. But being able to actually sign with someone is a great thing to, again, make life more magical
Is
for
that all
people.
over you go all over the state?
So I've it's all over the world is where we have different organizations, different local chapters. And we live in northern West Virginia, right on the border with Pennsylvania, and I've done events in all throughout Pennsylvania, even over in Philadelphia. I've done some in northern Maryland, all throughout West Virginia, a couple in Ohio. So, and
Really
some people
neat.
travel even further.
That's really neat.
So yeah, it's very rewarding. We'll also do hospital visits, and so dressing up in a Star Wars costume and seeing some sick kids, and you walk into the room and their face lights up, and you walk out and their parent says, he hasn't smiled in 2 weeks, thank you, and
Mhm.
it will melt your heart, and it's times that you're happy that you have one of the helmets on because they can't see you crying.
Right, right.
So and that's my other thing. I might get in, whenever I become a cast member, is work in Galaxy's Edge because I could totally be one of the stormtroopers. I have experience.
There you go.
So, but this is even go back to the movie Miracle on 34th Street. And I'm not sure if it was in the original, but the remake that was in the I don't know, 90s or 2000s, that there's at one point where there's a little kid that comes to see Santa, and the mom says, "Well, she's deaf. She just wanted to sit on your lap." And then Santa signs to her, and they're singing Jingle Bells in sign language. And it's like those moments that
Yes,
there are people at Disney who know sign language, and if there's a person with hearing difficulties and they sign to them, and it's like you're making that connection that is so unexpected, and then it just makes that trip and that moment more memorable,
absolutely.
and that's what makes Disney magic Disney magic, and that's what makes Disney into Disney is having
Hmm.
the ability to do experiences like that.
Right. That seem custom to you specifically.
Hmm. And this is another thing that they offer in the college program. It's the learning game room, which they play these different games and go through these different scenarios, but you're learning and practicing leadership skills through these games. So it's putting people in different environments and showing different leadership techniques and bringing out the leader in people. And there's a similar one that's called Improv for Improvement that helps you practice out of the box thinking and thinking on your feet, trying to think quickly. And the big thing that they're always an underlying element in all these is communication and leadership and working together and being able to be a team leader. So through this program, they're not only helping the students to improve, but then they are creating the leaders of tomorrow, which can then help Disney in and of itself, because obviously the people who are in the program like Disney.
Yes.
And then with the networking, which Carlos mentioned a little bit before, are opportunities to meet cast members in different positions, whether they are some of the higher up executives, and those who are in the culinary program, you can meet some of the chefs, you can meet some of the Imagineers, and sometimes you'll listen to a seminar that they're going to give, or there's a roundtable discussion with a few of them, but you get to hear their insight, their thoughts and insights, and then you can sometimes meet them afterwards. And then, so a lot of these things are just one time courses, maybe they meet twice or whatever. But then they also have multi-week courses like Leadership 101, The Magic of Storytelling, Butterfly Research with the with Disney Conservation. There's Exploring Disney Hospitality, and that's probably where I got some of my books was the Exploring Disney Hospitality because it was like an actual course that would take a little while to go through, not just a one day, couple hour thing.
Mm. I didn't know this list was so extensive. It's like
They say they
we need to petition to have something like this for us adults.
Your mom's making a list of the things that she wants you to go back and do again.
I want to go back and do
My
this.
time as a CP is done. I am now a part-timer. I can choose
No,
my
I don't want, I
schedule.
want, no, you're fine. I want this for me.
it's funny that my wife finished her doctorate in math a couple years ago, now teaches in college as well. And she said a couple times of, I want to go back and be a student. And now I'm thinking I want to go back and get another degree so I can join the Disney College program.
Right.
There you
Like
go.
this is some nice benefits you get, but benefits in terms of things that you can take with you in your life, like some of these skills and experiences look really awesome.
And one of the really neat things they offer too is something called the Endless Possibilities Showcase. And this is offered twice a year. It's a resource fair, and it's really a chance to do networking where you get to meet, again, like I said before, of different executives, the chefs, the Imagineers, people from different uh, areas of the park and the park operations that you can then say, oh, oh, I've been doing this for so long. I want to meet that person and talk to them. And oh, yeah, I have an interest in this. And oh, yeah, I've been in ride operations, but my degree's in mechanical engineering. So I want to talk to one of the Imagineers and hopefully make those connections and get your foot in the door to create a career down the line. And Carlos, did you go to that at all?
Um,
I know you say you work a
I,
lot and they're only offered twice a year, so I don't know if you were busy working on those days.
no, I don't think so. I don't believe I did.
So, but you got your foot in the door now and you're continuing on anyway, so you're good, right?
Yes, sir.
So, Carlos, I have a question for you. So, is there a moment in your college program that you like jump back to or you think about where you either got to create some magic for someone else or someone created magic for you?
all the time. Like that's something making magic typically like you will like do every day, like typically every day, there's always gonna be that one guest that will stand out that you made magic for them, or like they'll make magic for you. So like back in Disney Springs when I'm at the pin store, I would I used to well not me, other people say that I had like the magic touch because people buy pin packs and they say, I want this pin. Then I'll just go look at pin packs, I'll grab their pin pack, sell it to them, and then they get the pin exactly the one that they want. So like most of the Disney pins I have are like special moments where a guest has given them to me saying, hey, because you helped me find the pin that I want, or because you helped me this, I want to give this to you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so like my whole thing is just full of like pins I gotten from guests. Like I got a Jafar one from a guest. I got some of the Disney ducks from guests and a couple of others.
That's so sweet. That's touching that it works on both ends, that you help make their trip more memorable and more magic. But then they turned right around and they made a memorable moment for you too.
Yeah, and I remember I think there was this girl who remember who only did sign language, and the parents were the only one that specifically able to communicate. So I was like talking to parents, okay, how do I do this in sign language? So it's also like communicating with the daughter, like trying to learn how to use sign language to talk to her directly. So it's like a really fun moment.
That is awesome. That's just truly amazing. And I never really thought of that. Then I know that at the different parks that we have been pixie dusted, or that I've noticed uh, a cast member has been really nice to us, or I've seen the cast member treat other guests just phenomenally. And I have a laundry list of these that I've. And by the way, if you ever see that, go on to the My Disney Experience app and leave a cast comment for them. So make sure you take note of their name and where they're from. Look on their name tag, and let the cast member get the recognition they deserve. But I never thought of it from the cast member's perspective of how that affects the cast member as well.
Oh yes, it really does. Like I had like many people saying, "Come," I was just given a magical moment by a guest. Most of the time, like some were like given a bracelet. Another time, I remember this gentleman 3D printed like a coin that had a face of genie and gave it to me as a magical moment. Trying to think of what else besides like some of the pins. Like little like note cards. Like another guest came back and bought me like a little like notebook because I helped them find like one of the pins that they were looking for.
That's so nice. There was one experience I was going through security at Hollywood Studios. And again, being in the 501st, sometimes there's some cast members who are 501st Rebel Legion members, and uh, sometimes we'll run into each other whenever we're down in Disney. And so we have challenge coins that we often make up, or trading cards or patches and stickers, whatever else. And so I typically try to bring some with me just in case so we can trade. It's a neat thing to do. And I was going through security and the guy was checking my bag, and he was, mentioned that he was former military, and he saw the coins. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're here." We started talking. He's like, "Oh, I forgot to bring mine." And so I said, "Well, do you like the Rebels or the Empire better?" He's like, "Well, I'm more of a Rebel guy." So I gave him one of the challenge coins. He was like, "Oh, wow, thanks." So, it goes both ways, but it's, those nice moments where you can make that personal connection.
Right. Yeah, you'll be doing that a lot.
And now, how do you join the Disney College program? So they have college recruitment, which I imagine they still go to college campuses now. I believe I saw that at West Virginia University. Every once in a while, they'd all see an advertisement for it. I know that they came to my college, you know, years
Yeah.
ago,
They
back
did
before
also
they had
came to
electricity.
mine.
So they came to yours, Doc.
Yeah.
And now they do, and of course you can just apply online too. You don't need to wait for them to come to your college. You can actually look this up and be proactive with it. So how long after they were done, how long did it take you to go up and sign up? Was it, did you wait a full second or was it less than that?
Less than a second for me, but then I messed up on my application. I put that I wasn't 18 when I went back to edit something. So it took me a bit longer to come here, but I came here.
Yeah, and I've done that too. That there's little toggle switches of are you over 18 or are you not? And you click one and then you hit like the up or down arrow and it moves it and or you scroll on your cursor or your mouse and it's like, no.
Yep, that's pretty much what happened to me.
Hooray
I sent an
technology.
email. They were like, unfortunately, we cannot change it. You have to apply next time.
Technology is wonderful as long as it works, right?
Right.
So, Carlos, all right, now we're getting into the really personal questions. So, what is your favorite Disney park?
Oh, that is really between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. That is such a hard one. No, if
Our
I
family,
had to say,
don't mean to
I'll
put you on the
probably,
spot.
I know, see, you put me on the spot. I had to go with Epcot.
That's our favorite too, but mainly because with the countries, there's so much you can do without waiting in line. And the walkways are
Right.
bigger, so it never seems quite as crowded as some of the other parks.
Right, and Epcot wasn't always my favorite. Like, like as a child, like I always say, like, why we're going to Epcot? There's nothing to do at Epcot. I want to do rides. But then as I got older, I learned to like really appreciate and learn what Epcot really does have to offer. It's not more about, oh, this rides is exploring other parts around the world, learning about other people's culture and the food and the drinks.
And that's the other nice thing about Disney is that as you grow and as you change and as you go through your life, what you like the best changes. It's all
Right,
fun, but what you like the best can change for with your perspective.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions people have about Disney, that it's just for kids and stuff, and they don't realize that, like you said, you can go grow with Disney and things change, but it's also very adult stuff you can do. There's resorts that are extremely relaxing, like if you was to go down to the Caribbean and do an all-inclusive, like you can get there's something for everything, for everybody at Disney, and that's what I can appreciate about them.
And I also think that's why it's really good when you're planning a Disney trip to work with a travel advisor. Because the thing is that we know the ins and the outs of all of the different resorts and all of the different parks and everything like that. And so we can help you to personalize a trip that is exactly what you're looking for, exactly your needs and your wants for whether it's your family or a honeymoon or a girls' trip or a getaway with friends. There's lots of different options and things like that, and it's easy to get overwhelmed, and that's why working with a travel advisor is a great thing. We can help you to kind of make the options a little bit less and make sure that it's personalized just for you.
Especially because at Disney, depending on how you count the resorts, there's 20 to 30 of them. So is the Boardwalk Inn and the Boardwalk Village, are they the same or different? That's different counting. But you have so many options that it really helps to have someone who knows the ins and outs. They can take, all right, here's what do you want, and then we can find the place that's going to fit perfectly for you. And okay, which park should we go to, and how many days? And okay, well, what do you want to see? What type of a trip do you want? What do you want to get out of it? And then we can help to figure all that good stuff out for you.
Absolutely.
Carlos, do you have a favorite attraction? And then
Hmm.
now you can chime in with your favorites too. I don't want to leave you out.
Carlos, you can go
Cosmic
first.
Rewind.
Cosmic Rewind. That
And I
that is so
second that.
fun.
And
Yeah,
it is amazing.
I absolutely second that. That's my favorite one.
And
it's
then, of
number one.
course, Tower of Terror behind it.
That's my wife's favorite. Tower of Terror.
I
I
don't know
love
what
that
would come
ride.
second for me. I don't know.
Depends on what I rode last. It's like, oh, that was the best ride ever.
Basically.
So, anything else you would you like to add about the Disney College program or just Disney in general before we move on to travel tips? And this goes for everybody.
I say as a parent, if you have a child, and even they don't even have to be necessarily be interested in Disney as a company itself, but the benefits you're gonna get or your child's gonna get and the growth they're gonna get from this program is absolutely worth it. And I would encourage any parent to look into it.
Good advice.
Yeah, I would say, like I said earlier, it is a really fun program. Like I think if you have the opportunity, you should do it. I say it's like it's gonna be like, of course, you having a job. It's gonna be exactly like having a job, but like determining if you're going to still take classes online or not. That's entirely up to you. But you determine how much you will like it. Say, hey, I want to apply. Okay, yeah, you're in. But what will make it a memorable or an experience for you is based off what you put into making that experience.
Well put. That you can apply that to pretty much anything, especially with even college in general, is you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And if you take advantage of the opportunities to actually learn and grow, then you will learn and grow.
Right.
So, Anel, do you have a travel tip to share with us?
Um, yes, just reminding everybody on May 27th, they're going to start enforcing this real ID. So make sure if you don't have a real ID, get that taken care of because that will hinder your travel, including through TSA, commercial flights. So make sure your ID is a real ID.
Carlos, your travel tip?
If you're looking to plan any trips or to travel, you can talk to my mom here in her travel agency, and they'll be more than happy to assist you.
Again, travel advisors can't go wrong with that.
You can.
Katie, your travel tip?
I think that my travel tip is probably for this one is that gratitude will take you a long ways. And that if you can take some time to pay attention to the cast members who are there working hard, like Carlos and others, you will discover that they all have really amazing stories. It amazes me every time I go to Disney when I stop and talk to some of the cast members and just take the time to listen to them. They all have something really cool to share, and I walk away feeling like Disney is more than just the attractions. It's more than just the food. It's more than just the resorts. Disney really is made up of thousands of cast members that are there to make their guests feel like they are the most important people, and it wouldn't be the same without them. So I'm super grateful for cast members like Carlos. I'm grateful for moms like Annell that will send their kids out into the world and help them to create magic. For the rest of us that get an opportunity to go to Disney, it truly is a magical place because of the people that work there.
And my travel tip kind of goes along those lines of pay attention to the cast members' name tags. That they'll have the cast members' names, but they also list where the cast member is from, or if they're in the college program, they're going to list a college that the student goes to. And you might be able to find someone who grew up near you or went to your alma mater or is from somewhere that you used to live or you love to visit. And the name tags also have some other information about the languages that the cast members are fluent in or how many years they've worked at Disney. So if you look on some of them, say Espanol, or especially throughout the countries, they'll have, you know, for in Japan, they'll have Japanese written there. So if you're also traveling and English is not your first language and you want to find someone that, maybe will converse in your native language, you can look for that. And if you ever come across someone with a blue name tag, that is somebody special. That means that that cast member has won the Walt Disney Legacy Award for providing exceptional service. So you can, as Katie said, pay attention to the name tags, and that can be a nice little opening for that conversation. Then learn a little bit more about the person and to have that other experience and get that other extra little bit of magic of meeting some of the cast members and finding out some of their backstory or just a little bit about them. So, if you have a destination or experience that you would like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, Or if you'd like to share your favorite destination or have a travel tip, feel free to contact us. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. And now, how can people get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me. I have a Facebook page, Dreams by Design Travel with Annell. That's Annell. Or you can call me at 404-491-0120. It's Pixie Latte on TikTok and More Pixie Latte on Instagram.
Carlos, do you have information you'd like to share?
If you have any more questions about the Disney College program, feel free to reach out on Facebook. And my name is Carlos Graniela, Carlos, Graniela, Graniela.
For me, my social media is Matt with DBD on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Email is Matt, M-A-T-T, at dreamsbydesigntravel.com. All this information is going to be in the episode description. So if you'd like to contact us to book a trip or ask questions, you can look there. You don't have to have written it down now or have a photographic memory or, don't have to worry about spelling. It'll all be there. And now, Carlos, thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. And Katie, thank you always for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
So, Carlos, we might have to check in with you down the line, see how things are going, and follow your career as you're moving through Disney and all that other fun stuff. Do you have a dream job that you'd like to do at Disney?
Um, I can't say if I have a dream job at Disney at the moment.
Do you have a dream job, period? I know I'm putting you on the spot with the tough questions.
Man, probably so much on. I guess probably storyboarding.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yes.
So, I know I have my dream job, that I'm gonna skip around the Jungle Cruise. It's coming.
It's coming. You're almost there.
So please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like what you heard, pass the word around. We'd like to get other people to listen and enjoy as well. Join us next time. We're not that. We'll see you later. Okay. We are done.